Welcome back, class. I am Mr. Betts, and this is Memestory, in which we examine important historical topics you're going to need to know about using the internet's greatest resource, memes and funny clips. Today's topic, the Lewis and Clark expedition. It's 1803, and President Thomas Jefferson has sent Robert Livingston and James Madison to meet with the French foreign minister to buy the city of New Orleans, strategically located at the mouth of the Mississippi River.
Not too small.
Wait a minute, did that reporter just dab?
Watch me do my dab. Watch me do my dab.
Anyway, Livingston and Madison are shocked when they are instead offered France's entire Louisiana territory, which would effectively double the size of the United States for only $15 million.
Shut up and take my money!
Not so fast. See, Jefferson wasn't sure what to do at first, and while this would supply an abundance of land for many generations of Americans, as well as give us complete control of the Mississippi River, there was nothing expressly written about the president's power to acquire new land in the Constitution. Do I even have the power, Jefferson thought? Do I have the authority? To which Livingston countered, "No!" And the deal was done. And now that we own the land, Jefferson wanted it explored. He persuaded Congress to fund an expedition into the Western land, one that would have the latest and greatest technology available. The expedition had a few objectives. Jefferson, like everybody else, wasn't quite sure what he bought with the Louisiana Purchase. So the expedition would map the terrain as they traveled, and they would collect information on the new plants and animals they encountered.
Look at all those chickens!
But the most important objective was to find a water route that would cut across the entire continent. Yep, people were still looking for the Northwest Passage. It's like the early American version of fetch.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Picked to lead the expedition was Meriwether Lewis, Jefferson's private secretary. And Lewis picked William Clark to co-lead with him, having served with him previously in the military. The ability to work together as a team would be crucial to the expedition's success.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
So, on May 14th, 1804, the expedition known as the Corps of Discovery set out into the vast unknown of the Louisiana Territory. Between the rugged terrain and the sometimes hostile native tribes, this was a perilous journey.
Do it again? Oh no, that wasn't it. Pick it up. Bit of a late reaction there, mate.
They spent their first winter with the Mandan Native Americans in today's North Dakota, and it was there that they met Toussaint Charbonneau, a French-Canadian fur trapper who convinced them to bring him on as his interpreter. And he was really, really bad at it. He was just, he was a bad interpreter. He refused to do manual labor. He pretty much almost drowned in relatively shallow water.
Help me! I can't swim! I'm drowning! Oh God, I'm drowning!
Just a real idiot, but his wife, Sacagawea, became the saving grace of the expedition. She became the interpreter and the negotiator, and it was a good thing too, because they had been tracking the source of the Missouri River, thinking that it was going to be the Pacific Ocean. Nope, it was the Rocky Mountains. And with winter approaching, they needed horses to get over those mountains fast. But Chief Kama'awit of the Shoshone Native Americans was having none of it until he made a startling revelation. Sacagawea was his sister. She had been kidnapped when she was a little girl, and now she had returned to her village. Needless to say, they got the horses, and it was a heartfelt reunion.
I still love you.
But she wouldn't stay there. She would stay on with Lewis and Clark. They would continue traveling west, following the rivers to the coast, and on November 15th, 1805, they would finally reach the Pacific Ocean. There they would camp for the winter, and the next year start the long journey back, eventually arriving in September. They would have to tell Jefferson that they did not find the Northwest Passage.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
But they discovered hundreds of new plants and animals like the woolly mountain goat and the bighorn sheep and other species that would just make you go.
Fred House's dorm rooms? Not even. At one time, the snake was 200 pounds. Look at that osteoporosis now.
And most importantly, they would establish positive relationships with the Native Americans living in the territory, many of which were key to the expedition's success. Hopefully, the United States would remember this in future interactions with Native Americans. So that's the Memestory of the Lewis and Clark expedition. If you laughed or if you learned, please make sure you hit that like button and let me know in the comments what other events or memes you'd like to see in a future episode. If you like my brand new MrBettsClass shirt, you can get your own at my Redbubble store. Link down in the description. Make sure you subscribe. Be safe. I'll see you next time.